Skull Nation, get ready for the storm, Skull Nation. Listen up, Purple Warriors, because what I'm about to tell you will send chills down your spine and fire through your veins. The storm clouds are gathering over Minneapolis, and our beloved Vikings are facing a triple threat that could either forge champions or break dreams. Are you ready to witness destiny unfold? Brothers and sisters of the purple and gold, we've got explosive news brewing that involves our rising stars, our defensive nightmares, and some brutal reality checks that'll shake you to your core. 3 seismic events are colliding right now that could determine whether we're marching to glory or stumbling into chaos this season. First, we've got our specialist, who's carrying the weight of expectations heavier than Thor's hammer itself. This young warrior is battling demons that only champions can conquer, and Skull Nation, his journey will either lift us to Valhalla or send us spiraling into darkness. But wait, there's more. Our defensive backfield is in absolute crisis mode, and one fallen warrior is fighting the battle of his life for redemption. The secondary that's supposed to protect our kingdom is hanging by a thread, and every snap could be the difference between victory and devastation. And if that wasn't enough to get your purple blood pumping, we've got devastating news about our draft picks that'll make you question everything. Players we thought would be cornerstones of our future are now fighting just to wear the uniform, and the implications are massive for our franchise's direction. Skull Nation, I need you to smash that like button right now and drop your purple hearts in the comments, because this story is about to take you on an emotional roller coaster that'll test your loyalty and ignite your passion. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, because you do not want to miss what's coming next. The first bombshell involves our specialist who's carrying pressure that would crush ordinary men. But Skull Nation, you know we don't raise ordinary players in Minnesota. Are you ready to discover which Viking is walking the tightrope between glory and disaster? The pressure cooker. Our specialist's make-or-break moment. Skull Nation, brace yourselves. Because Reichard is walking into the fire, and every single kick this season could determine his entire NFL future. Our second-year kicker isn't just battling opposing defenses. He's fighting against the crushing weight of expectations, the haunting memories of adversity, and the unforgiving spotlight that comes with being one of the rare specialists drafted by an NFL team. Let me paint this picture for you, Purple Warriors. Reichard was selected 203rd overall, rare territory for a kicker. And that draft capital means everything. The organization invested in him when they could have grabbed any undrafted free agent, which means the pressure is astronomical. Every field goal attempt, every extra point, every clutch moment carries the weight of proving that investment was worth it. But here's where it gets intense, Skull Nation. His rookie season started like a dream. This Alabama warrior was drilling kicks from every distance, looking like the answer to our special teams' prayers. Then adversity struck like a lightning bolt. Injury derailed his momentum, landed him on the injured reserve, and when he returned, the consistency that made him special began to crack under pressure. The numbers tell a story of potential mixed with growing pains that'll make your heart race. In 13 games, Reichard converted 24 of 30 field goal attempts. That's 80% accuracy, which sounds decent until you realize that 3 of those misses came from beyond 50 yards. The leg strength is there, Skull Nation. He's proven he can nail 58-yarders when the moment demands it. But here's what should give every member of Skull Nation confidence. Our young warrior went perfect on extra points. 38 for 38, a flawless 100% conversion rate that shows nerves of steel in the red zone. That mental toughness in high-pressure situations is exactly what championship teams are built on. At just 24 years old, Reichard has potentially a decade or more of elite football ahead of him, and the Vikings are betting their special teams' future on his ability to channel that adversity into greatness. The fire that nearly consumed him could be the same flame that forges him into a legendary Viking kicker. Skull Nation, this is where champions are made, in the crucible of pressure, in the face of doubt, when everyone's watching and waiting to see which direction the fire will take you. Will Reichard emerge from this trial stronger than ever? Or will the pressure prove too much for our young specialist? But Warriors, if you think the pressure on our kicker is intense, wait until you hear about the absolute crisis brewing in our defensive backfield. One former top draft pick is fighting the battle of his career just to stay relevant. And Skull Nation, his redemption story could make or break our entire season. Redemption or ruin, the cornerback crisis that's shaking Minnesota. Hold on to your purple jerseys, Skull Nation, because our secondary situation is a disaster waiting to explode. And Jeff Okudah, the former number 3 overall pick, is our last hope at preventing total defensive meltdown. This isn't just another roster battle. Warriors, this is a man's entire career hanging in the balance while our team desperately needs him to become the player we all know he can be. Let me break down this nightmare scenario that's keeping Vikings fans awake at night. Our cornerback room is so thin you could see through it, and general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has built a championship-caliber offense and defensive line, but left us vulnerable in the secondary. We're talking about a position group that could single-handedly determine whether we're playoff-bound or watching from home. Jeff Okudah's story is one that'll grip your soul. Skull Nation. This warrior was once the 3rd player selected in the entire 2020 NFL Draft, behind Joe Burrow and Chase Young, with expectations that he'd become a shutdown corner who could erase elite receivers. But injuries, inconsistent performances, and confidence-crushing setbacks have turned his career into a fight for survival. The brutal reality? His last full season as a starter with the Atlanta Falcons produced a coverage grade of just 46.0, a number that should terrify any defensive coordinator. That's not just below average, Skull Nation. That's the kind of performance that gets players cut and careers ended. But here's the twist that should give us hope. He's been running with our first-team defense in the nickel position during minicamps. Coach Brian Flores isn't just throwing Okudah a lifeline. He's betting our defensive success on this man's ability to resurrect his career. In a secondary that desperately needs proven talent, Okudah represents both our biggest risk and our greatest opportunity for a defensive transformation. Look at what we're working with, Warriors. Byron Murphy Jr. is literally the only established cornerback on our roster. One guy holding down an entire position group. Makey Blackmon missed the entire 2024 season with injury. Isaiah Rodgers was a backup with the Eagles. We've got undrafted rookies, Dwight McGlothern and Zamaya Vaughn trying to make the team, and veterans Ambry Thomas and Tavier Thomas fighting just for depth roles. This isn't just depth concerns, Skull Nation. This is a full-blown crisis that could expose our defense against elite offenses. When you're facing Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, and Caleb Williams twice each in the NFC North, you cannot afford to have question marks in the secondary. But here's where the story gets even more intense. Analysts are already speculating that we might need to make a trade with the Cleveland Browns for Greg Newsome II, another first-round corner who hasn't lived up to expectations. The fact that our own front office connections to Cleveland are being discussed shows just how desperate the situation has become. Jeff Okudah isn't just fighting for a roster spot. Purple Warriors, he's fighting to prove that talent and pedigree can overcome adversity. His redemption could be the defensive catalyst that propels us to unexpected heights, or his continued struggles could be the weakness that opposing offenses exploit to destroy our Super Bowl dreams. But if you think our secondary crisis is stressful, wait until you hear the devastating news about our recent draft picks that's got the entire organization questioning their talent evaluation. Skull Nation, what I'm about to reveal will make you wonder if we've been building our future on quicksand. Draft day disaster, the brutal reality that's rocking our foundation. Skull Nation, prepare for the most devastating blow. Ty Chandler and Brian Asamoah II, 2 players we hoped would be cornerstones, are now fighting just to make the 53-man roster. This isn't just roster bubble drama, Warriors. This is complete indictment of our draft strategy. When analyst Judd Zulgad released his projections, the writing became crystal clear. Only Jalen Nailor, a 6th-round receiver, would remain from our entire 10-player 2022 draft class. 10 players, Skull Nation, and only one might survive. Ty Chandler, our 5th-round running back, was supposed to be reliable depth. But our trades for Cam Akers and Jordan Mason signal the organization has moved on. He's fighting for scraps as potential 4th back and kick returner, devastating fall from expectations. But Chandler's struggle pales compared to Brian Asamoah II. This linebacker was selected 66th overall, third-round pick, and managed just 191 total defensive snaps in 3 years. Complete failure to justify his draft position. When veteran Eric Wilson and rookie Kobe King are projected to replace him, that's damning. General Manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah faces serious questions about his draft ability. While free agency moves have been shrewd, his draft history is becoming a liability. You can't build sustainable winners consistently whiffing on picks that should provide cheap young talent. Skull Nation, sound off in the comments. Are you worried about our front office's drafting ability? Smash that like button if this concerns you. The question keeping every Vikings fan awake: can we build winners when recent draft history suggests we struggle evaluating young talent? Skull.